and 204. Exactly 4 years ago today, we started doing Odd Musings.
Isn't that crazy?
Not the exact date, but 4 years ago on a Wednesday.
Right. Yep. And that's why I wanted to use our D. Snyder photo for the promo for this one here.
Yeah.
4 years ago, D. Snyder's life was changed.
Yes,
Little did he know who he was meeting at the time.
Very cool. So, hey, so how's it going, Scott?
It's going well. Keeping busy. It's been really busy between, the final week. I keep planning on drawing because I've got those bonus pages I've got to do for Crimson Shadows 2 here, which got unlocked. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I keep trying to find time to draw, but you always forget with Kickstarters how time consuming they are, doing all the promotion, posting on all these different pages and interacting with backers but we've had awesome movement. So we'll talk about that in a little bit and give you an update where we're at. But tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time is when it's all done. So you're going to want to go in there and back it now. Lots of free stretch goals being unlocked.
Yep, you can join us at 7 o'clock. We'll count down the hour and have a couple beers and chat about what's been going on and talk about the future stuff coming up with Bardstone, as well as how the Crimson Shadows is shaped up. In fact, that book's done, guys. So you're going to get it if you pledge. You're definitely guaranteed. So, but hey, we got a little Odd Musings business to take care of. I'm going to start us off here with Loringer's Family Conversation. Of course, yesterday was May the 4th be with you. So subluxated you are. Adjusted you must get at Loringer's. But Loringer Family Chiropractic Center, PC, located in Belleville, Michigan, and Dexter, Michigan. They take great pride in providing the finest chiropractic care to each and every patient, offering on-site digital X-rays, massage therapy, orthotics by foot levelers, young living essential oils, aromatherapy, full line of vitamins, all in a family-oriented environment. Give them a call, 734-697-4244. Visit them online at LoringerFamilyChiropractic.com. We got you right here at the Facebook page, which is at Loringer Family Chiro, and you can follow them there. You can give them a call from there and explore different services they have available, or send them a quick question if you have one. So definitely check out Loringer Family Chiropractic Center, PC, one of our first, actually probably the first sponsor, and been with us since day one for 4 years. So we really appreciate them. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, they're awesome. They do great work. Brett uses them all the time. My daughter was a patient there for about 6 months or so, and they did phenomenal in their care for her. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Then we also have Scott.
Dun, dun, dun. Team Titans of Real Estate. I need a jingle, a little song.
Go Team Titans, selling houses down the block. Team Titans, go Team Titans.
There we go. I love it. So we got to grab that clip and have Brett singing it every time. That was perfect. I loved it. But yeah, Team Titans Real Estate. Why? Because you matter. We value our relationships with our clients. We're at that stage in our partnership of Team Titans where we've been doing this long enough. We get repeat business now. People who are now looking to sell their houses again that originally purchased through us, and we're getting a lot of referrals from people. So we really appreciate that. It just shows, when someone refers business to you, it shows they really liked the work you did for them originally. So we appreciate that. But just giving you a housing market, I've been saying it all year since January. It's a crazy market, low inventories, but we've also been projecting in the trade magazines that there would be a return to the real estate cycle. And what that means is last year it was just everything was all topsy-turvy, and it was just insane the whole time. We had 10% increases in prices over the last 14 months. And this was all through bidding wars because of the low inventories. But now we're seeing tons of houses hit the market. We're still getting the huge bidding wars. But if this continues, the supply will offset the demand, and we should see a lessening of those. So what does that mean for you? Well, if you're looking to sell, if you are holding off to make your house perfect and you're saying, let's just wait 4 more weeks so I can do this little thing on the house or whatever. If these bidding wars go away, you're potentially losing $20,000, $30,000 in added sale price because of the bidding war effect. So we're still having them. We had 2 houses go live this weekend. They both sold in 2 days. And we had one house had 8 offers and the other was about 10 or 11, something like that. Almost all the offers were above asking. Almost all the offers had appraisal guarantees. Most of the offers were waiving inspections. So the competition is still pretty brutal out there. And a lot of that's because we still have the buyers out there who have been bidding on multiple houses and losing on multiple houses. And, they're now on their 6th, 7th, 8th house that they're attempting to buy, and they have to find something. But as that pool of buyers find places to live and more houses hit the market, that pressure that's creating those bidding wars is going to go away. So waiting, though, doing that little extra work to your house to make it perfect may actually cost you potentially tens of thousands of dollars. So give us a call. My number is 586-549-6096. And Jill's is 586-277-2145. And up on the screen there is our website, teamtitansofrealestate.com. You can create your own search criteria in there. You can contact us through there. And let's talk. Let's get some real estating done.
Awesome.
So there you have it.
Very cool. So we mentioned some Kickstarter stuff. I think we should cover some of that as we get started here.
Okay.
So if you want to bring up the page.
Sure.
In that, but
I've got it right here.
Yeah, we're down to our last several hours. So we've got 10 hours, actually, just under 10 hours now. So.
Yep. In Kickstarter time, it says 9 hours to go. That's because we're in that just past the 10-hour mark there. We're at like 9 hours and 53 minutes to go.
Yep.
So we've really been moving along really nicely. We have a lot of stretch goals. So I'm going to just say it really quick because we got a lot of awesome stuff to talk about here on today's episode. But we're just shy of 4,000. But I went ahead and pulled the trigger and counted it. I unlocked the $4,000 stretch goal. So that's done. I'm going to get down to our list here. So right now we have 6 stretch goals that have been unlocked. That's $35 worth of free product to all of you who have $30 or more in pledges. So do the math. You'll be getting $65 worth of rewards for $30. That's an awesome, awesome deal. The other thing I did is I have this awesome limited edition cover, which I'll make it for issue 3 if we don't hit it, but I would rather make it a bonus cover for you guys for supporting this project. So originally this was going to be unlocked at 5,000. I moved it up to 4,000 or 4,500, I should say. So all rewards of $40 or more will get this one if we can unlock it. And we're only about $500 away. So we can definitely do this with 10 hours to go. Mm-hmm. And then to fill the 5,000 spot, I added a 4th metallic trading card. So right now, just to recap, what do you get right now? Right now, we have 3 metallic trading cards unlocked. We have 1 bonus cover featuring Dale Gruber's artwork up here in black and white. That's a limited edition cover. And then we have 4 full color pages of story added to this book. What that means is normally a comic book is about 22 pages. This now will be 34 pages in length. That's basically half a graphic novel. Mm-hmm. So you get a lot of content for no added price. So it's pretty good stuff.
Excellent. Yeah, you talked about last couple of weeks that you're probably going to color the pages anyways.
Yeah, so that originally was going to unlock at 6,000. So I moved that up and just unlocked it with the 4-page one. Yeah.
So any of our unmuted fans that have pledged already, keep in mind if you up your pledge to $40 minimum, you're going to get. And we hit that goal for the extra cover for the Frankstein cover here, another 500. You're going to get that. But if everybody's to increase just enough to get that, you're going to help us get to that a lot faster. So just a little bit more, and you can get a lot more stuff with your pledge. It's a great way to get some cool covers that you're not going to be able to get anywhere else. If we happen to have some left over from the Kickstarter, which some of the stuff we don't, we would have them at shows, but even then you can't guarantee. And they're not going to be for the same price that we have them online here because our cost at shows is a lot more than a Kickstarter cost. So, and
I just want to show one more thing, and this is where we really $39.95. Somebody else just backed. We are $5 short of the 4,000 mark.
Nice.
That's awesome. But this is what I want to show here is this is where we have a lot of hope. 73 people are following this project right now on Kickstarter. Mm-hmm. 23 have backed it. That means we have 50 people who have expressed interest and asked for a reminder before this project ends to be reminded. So we have 50 potential backers right now sitting there in our back pocket. If they come forward and just do $10 each, just a $10 pledge by each of those alone, we're going to unlock the bonus free issue for everybody.
Mhm.
And right now, our average pledge is $53 per pledge. So we have a lot of room. If just 10 people come forward with the average pledge, we're going to hit that goal. So we have a lot of time. 10 hours is a lot of time in Kickstarter time, especially on the final day, because we end up on all those lists where Kickstarter has a list where backers can go to see what's almost ending. So,
and keep in mind as you're going through that with the add-ons, it makes it easier to kind of customize your pledge. You don't have to try to find the exact pledge you want. Start off with a basic one, then go through the add-ons and see what's available. And if you have questions, message through the Kickstarter to Scott, and he can help you out with that. Get into what you need.
Yeah, so we'll revisit this one more time before we get off today's show. But then tonight, 7 p.m., Kevin, Brett, and I are going to get together to kind of celebrate the final hour of the campaign. I'm really hoping we can bust through the 5,000 mark. If we can do that, that is going to be awesome. That was my internal goal. 2,500 was our minimum goal, but the real goal I had inside was 5,000.
Yeah.
Because I really want to build on the success of issue 1. And I want to keep seeing this grow. I got awesome plans for issue 3. So stay tuned for that too once this is done. But it's already written, and I'm in the process of getting that laid out right now. So good stuff. It's going to be released by end of the year, issue 3. So you won't have to wait long. You're not going to have to wait a whole year or 2 years or 3 years for the next issue. It's going to come out this year.
Yeah, we've been between 6-8 months on the Crimson Shadows and the Poe, and that between the two. So we've done pretty good trying to keep you guys interested and going on that. So definitely
keep you fed.
Yes.
All right. So
fantastic.
Enough. I posted it in the link there too. But if you don't know how to find those links, go to bardstone.com, click the Kickstarter tab. The link is in there.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So, something we didn't post on here. We don't have to get into it today, but have you seen that Mitchell's versus the Machines yet?
Not yet. I saw the trailer on it, and there's so much. It's funny.
Everything's dropping right now. So
yeah, there was this lull where I felt like a lot of stuff coming on Netflix was kind of subpar, and I wasn't watching much on it. But I feel like lately between Disney Plus, we now have the Bad Batch out and the Marvel stuff, and then Netflix has been coming out with stuff again. We got stuff on Amazon Prime. All of a sudden now it's like, oh, I got to juggle what I'm watching. So that's definitely on my to-do list, that Mitchell's versus the Machines.
Yeah, I've already watched it. I'll be watching it again, I'm sure. I enjoyed it a lot. Just my initial review, great fun. I like the way it's done. The animation's really interesting. It's got a mix of the 3D and it has a feel of a graphic novel built into it. So definitely fun for the whole family on that. So I definitely recommend checking that out. So
nice.
And we'll talk about that in a future episode.
For me, let's see here. Let's put this up real quick. This is what I've been watching during my recovery, and I'll give a quick update. Those who are watching, I was fresh out of hernia surgery last week's episode that we did for Odd Musings. And but I'm at day 8 now and doing well. But been watching Invincible this week. Brett and Kevin had mentioned it before. So maybe next week we can talk fully on Invincible. I'm on the last episode here, but I have really been enjoying this. It's different than I was expecting.
I was a fan of the comic, which the comic series has already run its full course. They had the satisfying ending at the end of it and stuff like that. It follows the graphic novel very well. The animation and everything, it's like they almost lifted it and just animated the books a lot of ways. I really like it. The voice acting spectacular. It is not a for kids cartoon.
No, not.
This is in the line of like The Boys in terms of the graphic violence and things like that. So keep that in mind.
And also very similar to Walking Dead in a lot of ways. It's created by Robert Kirkman. Same level of violence, I think, that the Walking Dead series does for some of the graphic parts. I mean, obviously it's a cartoon, but it's still graphic. But very well done. I went in this knowing nothing of the comic. So for me, it was a complete fresh start. Brett knows the comic books. And so it's nice to hear that they're staying true to the comics as well. But
And I was worried as much as because I like this, I like the comic a lot. You know, you're always worried about stuff like this, and I was just surprised that right from the get go, I went into it. I was like, okay, straight from the comic, they're really following that. Made a few adjustments here and there. I have to go back and reread those early issues again and see how different it is. So
Yeah.
which I don't
But-
have the actual early issues, so I have to go and get. I think I got covers. I have to check that out.
So here's a lesson for you people watching. Go and back Crimson Shadows, because you never know. We could have a series coming up. Another series that's out that I just started watching last night is that Shadow and Bone.
Yes.
Absolutely love it. I'm a little depressed though, because a lot of the feel and look of that is like how I envision Crimson Shadows if it goes into live stream. I'm like, oh, come on. I finally come out with this and everybody's doing Victorian London type feeling.
Yeah, everything's popping out like, between the Nevers. And,
I know. It's like,
so-
come on. Did I miss the boat? I hope not.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff that within Crimson Shadows, so that's not being.
I think a
touched anywhere
time
else,
traveler from Netflix went to the future, found out Crimson Shadows was a success, so they came back and stole other ideas. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it.
There
But
we
no. but yeah. And then yesterday was May the 4th be with you day.
Yep, I saw you were watching, introducing your granddaughter to A New Hope.
Oh yes, yep, that was fun. Actually, there was a few things. Obviously, The Bad Batch came out yesterday, which I'm sure you watched too. We haven't talked about it yet, so we'll talk about that a little bit today. And then, but also, did you see Disney Plus released a couple of extras? They had vehicle fly-throughs and biomes, I think it was called.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to look at that stuff yet.
It's interesting. The biomes is like almost like a Natural Geographic type feel, in that it's like you get this like drone shot of it where it's just going over a Star Wars landscape, and you just see a famous scene but from a distance where it's just starting to unfold. So like the Hoth scene, for instance, you see the meteorite hit, and then you see the probe droid come out. Then as it goes, you see a pack of Tauntauns run by wild, and then as it keeps going, you then see in the distance the AT-ATs beginning their march towards Echo Base. So, but it's done from like really far away, so you hear the sounds of their nature or the wind, and it's interesting. It's kind of mesmerizing and relaxing at the same time. But they do like 6 different locations.
Okay,
but that was pretty cool.
Well, the one thing I thought they were going to drop on May the 4th, but they didn't, was the Droids series. They've got the Ewoks animated series, but I thought the Droids was. But I think that's going to be probably later on this year then. But yeah, there's a lot of cool Star Wars stuff. I mean, they're trying to get more on there, different content, because we're getting ready for the new series to come out between Andor and Kenobi, and moving on from into those over. I think it feels like it's taking forever. At the same time, I'm glad that it's not rushed. And I think once they get into those series, it's going to hopefully do what the Marvel series has been doing and just bring us all back into that. Because the Bad Batch did. Bad Batch is just a great segue.
Definitely.
So,
want to get into Bad Batch now?
Might as well. There they are, the Bad Batch right there. So,
really enjoying it.
You got introduced to them when they did the last season of the Clone Wars. And they were introduced, I think, strictly just to, create this series, really, because they almost came out of nowhere. We'd never seen anything of them through the entire Clone Wars cartoon and things like that. Looking up stuff last night and this morning, just to have a couple things prepped in that, I only saw one negative article, and it was funny. They basically said it's just a continuation of Clone Wars. This is the series we didn't ask for. And I look at it and go, we may not have asked for it, but it's definitely a series we deserve, because I think this is going to be a great look during that time between episode 3 and 4, actually probably between episode 3 and the Rebels cartoon, that we're going to learn more about what's going on in the galaxy. Because we already saw it. We saw it from an Order 66 perspective. The Bad Batch do not have the chips, but one of them kind of does, but because of their modifications, the chips, weren't working. So they didn't execute Order 66 like the regs, as they call them, did.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a series we need. I'm real excited about it. We've got, it was a great launching point, and we went back to Camino, and we're also starting to see something we know about with the Star Wars universe is, the dissolution of the clone program. They're no longer going to have clones fight. They're just going to conscript people.
Now there is something that comes out in this that's actually a a retconning is occurring in this. That's kind of a very subtle one. You see I love how they start off with Order 66 occurring.
Yeah.
But the real thing with that is the Jedi Master that they're following in that is her name is let me look it up here real quick just because I'll say it wrong. Depa Billaba. Mm-hmm. Jedi Master Depa Billaba. Now, to the average person, you probably have no clue what this means, but there's a retconning here in that Kanan from the Rebel series. Mm-hmm. Well, his background is Depa Billaba was his master, and he witnessed her being killed during Order 66, and he escaped.
Yes.
So that was not Kanan.
Well, they called him Caleb.
Oh, they did call him Caleb? Well, Caleb is his original name. Wait a minute. Let me look that up. I think Caleb was his original name. So maybe that is Kanan. That's
the first thing that came to my mind. I was trying to remember if his real name was Caleb and it became Caden.
Yeah.
Because there was some right away from the I was like,
okay, Caleb Doom is his original name.
Yes, so it is him. So
I had forgotten his original name was Caleb. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we just saw there was not retconning occurring, but we actually saw the origin story of Kanan in this. So that's really cool. Yeah, it threw me off when his name was Caleb. I'm like, wait a minute, that should be Kanan, but I forgot.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. Well played, Star Wars. Well played.
Well, and a couple of things we saw this episode. I mean, the initial with the Order 66, then we saw kind of them not sure what to do. They kind of, Hunter let Caleb go because he just it just didn't seem right because they think more for themselves than the regs do, especially after the Order 66's issue because then the regs are following orders because they're more programmed.
Yeah, and from the original Clone Wars series, there's an actual chip in the brain that controls these clones. Echo, who is one of the Bad Batch here, he actually surgically had it removed or it was damaged. I forget. I think he cut it out himself, if I remember right, which then caused issues. But so he's not affected, and the others, it said it overrode it, except for one of them, obviously.
Yeah, and actually, it's this one right here.
Yeah.
that's the I'm gonna find his name here.
Deadshot or
Crosshair. That's Crosshair. Yeah, we're still getting introduced and we're still learning. We've got Hunter, Tech, Crosshair, Wrecker, and Echo. We've got Echo's right here in the front. Yeah. We've got Wrecker back here, the big guy. Hunter's in the center, and then Tech is this guy, and he's the techie. And they all have specific attributes that they were designed for.
They really should have had, though, Sylvester Stallone voice Hunter. I mean, is there any doubt that's Rambo? It's obviously Rambo.
Yeah.
That's Rambo 2. That's Rambo from Rambo 2.
Yes.
But they're doing a great job, as always. The Clone Wars is such quality animation, quality storytelling.
This, to me, is how they should do all the animated stuff from Star Wars. Yeah. It fits right. It works. I think besides storytelling, when they tried to do that Resistance show, it just didn't work because of the storytelling as well as the way it looked. They were trying to go with this really wispy looking animation.
And then Rebels. Well, I love Rebels too.
Yes.
It kind of grew on me. Every time I go back to Clone Wars, this is my love right here. This really hits all the sweet spots. And I prefer the look more than the look in Rebels. Rebels goes with a slightly more cartoony, stylized look versus these ones here. Yeah. I'm looking forward to I'm guessing based on the way things are going, we're going to get the story arc at some point of the purge that's going to happen when the Empire switches over from clones to stormtroopers. Yeah. In the games, I think it was in the games. I forget where we do see it where the stormtroopers raid Kamino and purge out the clones. So I'm hoping we get that in this series.
I think we're going to see something that's going to be alluded to because, of course, we've already seen Tarkin, and he's now Admiral Tarkin, not Grand Moff at this point. And he has gone to Kamino, and basically he's told us that we're ending the program. They're not going to conscript anymore, and he said it's cheaper to conscript, people and just put them into service and stuff like that. So it's going to be that was the start of the end of the clones, and we saw that they still had younger clones, and of course we do have Omega here.
Yeah.
Omega is the 5th augmented clone. We have 5 in the Bad Batch. Echo was a reg.
Mm-hmm.
And we come to find out that Omega here was introduced, and Omega, while a child, is a female clone that's been modified. But we don't know a clone of who yet.
Well, to me, it looks just like Daniel Logan's version of Boba Fett at this age that they used in earlier Clone Wars episodes. So I think they just slightly modified. That's
what it is too, but they it's a female.
Well, but that's just a matter of
genetics,
introducing a hormone at the right time of the pregnancy.
Right. So, but it's interesting that they went that route, and we find out why they went that route versus the males, what the premise was going to be. Is I think a lot of this, but of course there's a lot of natural built-in abilities. I never fired a blaster. We see Omega fire a blaster. So there's those inherent abilities that all the clones have are there.
Right. Yeah. So this will be very interesting to see how this unfolds.
Yeah. So, and then of course now they've kind of all but Crosshair broken apart from the Empire. Crosshair has been taken him an Empire, and they've reactivated his ship and modified him to a certain way. So I think what we're going to be seeing through this season is him trying to hunt down the Bad Batch.
Yeah, and the Bad Batch probably. I think we're going to get the Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader storyline of them trying to redeem him. Is my prediction.
Yeah. So, but I'm also wondering if we're going to start seeing what we've seen in Rebels and things like that with the Inquisitors and things like that. If those are going to start popping up, I think we're going to see a lot of the birth of the Empire stuff is what's going to be in different worlds that they hadn't fully explored yet. And we also know that we've already seen the first branch of the rebellion with Saw Gerrera.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that, and then and there's a few, almost. I thought at first it might have been Hera sitting there. But I'm not sure if it was just another Twi'lek, but they did have a bunch of people. But I expect to see, I think we're going to see a lot of those characters we know start to pop in as the series goes on.
Yeah.
So,
and the way the episode ends, they're off to see somebody that they know. So there'll be some character reveal next week. That is it coming out on Fridays? Is it
actually to be this Friday? It will be the next episode. It's going to be every Friday after that. The first episode was 75 minutes. Every other episode will be about a half hour.
Okay.
And it's 14 total episodes, including the premiere basically movie that we got. So
right. Very good.
So I think it ends. They said it'll end around July 30th.
Okay.
So yeah, that sounds about right.
So I wonder if they're going to introduce somebody we know very well, and maybe a classic character, or I'm trying to think who they would know. Like, could it be Obi-Wan? Could it be? I'm trying to think who's around at that time. You would have a young Han Solo at that time period, I believe.
Well, with tying into the movie Solo, though, not yet. I mean, he'd be Corellia, but he wouldn't have.
I think he's like Corellia. 10 at this point. I think he's about 10 years old at this point.
Yeah, I doubt they would see him only for the fact that he's still on Corellia, and what they set up in Solo, there's a lot of backstory on him still being Corellia and just being a street rat at that point.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's a lot of different ones we could they could tie into, like a Bail Organa. They could they could go try to find Obi-Wan, but at this point, based on what they set up with Obi-Wan defeating Grievous and then Order 66, at this point Obi-Wan should be in hiding on Tatooine,
right?
In that, so I'm wondering if we're going to see Ahsoka again or tie into Captain Rex.
Could be Rex. Well, my only thing is I believe his words were, "I know a guy." Yeah, is what I think he said, and then they go into hyperspace. So Rex would probably be a perfect one.
Yeah.
Because then Rex can tie them into a lot of people. Rex has connections with a ton of Jedis. They could be on missions helping because right now also the Jedi Purge begins. You had Order 66, but then the Emperor goes on a hunt for anybody who survived Order 66. So it could be through Rex's knowledge of the Jedi. we could have them on missions trying to save Jedi too, potentially. And through Rex, that would connect them to Ahsoka.
Yep.
So
it almost makes me want to go back and watch the first couple episodes of the last season of the Clone Wars to remind myself of what they did there, because I'm wondering if there's a hint in there, because Filoni's doing the series and Filoni did Clone Wars, and he's great at tying stuff back together, even when you forget about it.
Yeah, definitely. So good stuff. I absolutely loved it. Like usual for Clone Wars, it was 75 minutes, but when it was done, I felt like it was 40 minutes. It flew by for me.
There's a couple that I thought they were going to end it, and I was kind of like, okay, it's going on. And I didn't realize it was 75 minutes. I was like, oh, wow, that was over an hour long. And I was just surprised. I loved the way it looked. I liked the fact that when they coming back from the mission after Order 66, the different shock troopers they showed and things like that. So there was a change going on. You could already see happening. So
definitely.
But so a lot of cool stuff on that. So we're real excited about more Star Wars, more Clone Wars, and that.
More. We want more.
Always want more.
Yeah, it feels so good to have Star Wars back the way it should be. It's, I'm looking forward to future projects again and seeing where things go. Like you said the other day, I was babysitting my granddaughter, and while she's only 5 months old, it's never too young to introduce them to Star Wars. No. So we had a talk about how the rebels are the true terrorists and how the stormtroopers are the good guys. She seemed to really listen. So I think she understands. But so I watched Star Wars: A New Hope yesterday. That was good.
Okay.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Very cool. Yeah, I didn't really watch any other Star Wars besides that. I've been playing around a little bit with Halo on the Xbox, so I just need a break from everything and shutting down on that, going through the entire Halo catalog over the last several months. So, because I can't play every day, so especially I want to.
Also, to piggyback on what we talked about the previous week, that Mortal Kombat movie, that's had a lot of updates. That Sub-Zero actor, I think it said there, he signed on for 4 more movies. Warner Brothers wants to do a Mortal Kombat series, TV series. So it's definitely getting a lot of post-viewing success here.
I think it's been streamed a ton on the HBO side. I haven't seen what they did box office wise in the theaters, but
they definitely seem to be doing well. I didn't realize Jax was Jimmy Olsen in the Supergirl series.
I didn't even notice that either. So I forgot all about him because I stopped watching Supergirl around season 3, I think it was. So it's been a few years since I've watched anything of that. So, which is a shame because I thought it had a great start. I just felt they got lost in everything but being Supergirl. So, hey, Kevin's popping in. Hey.
Yeah, just to show as let's see here, share screen. So he definitely bulked up. I mean, he was built because I remember they did have like a shirtless scene with him, and I remember thinking, oh, Jimmy Olsen's built more than I remember, but but he was still kind of on the slim side. So there he is there back during Supergirl, but he really bulked up for Jax in Mortal Kombat. So
I forgot he played Jimmy Olsen, but I liked him a lot as Jax. He was good.
I only knew he was Jimmy Olsen only because in the Mortal Kombat threads, people are like, "Oh my God, it's Jimmy Olsen." I'm like, "Oh my God, it is." So I totally missed that little thing at the time I was watching it.
So, did you see the Marvel update we got?
Yes, this is very interesting what's happening with Marvel.
Yeah, I'm real excited about this for a couple reasons. One is we're not getting a Captain Marvel 2, we're getting the Marvels. So they are expanding more within that realm.
I think it also shows Disney/Marvel heard the fans and about Brie Larson. Because she was going to be the center of the Marvel universe moving forward. She was going to be the next Captain America, so to speak, in that all the storylines were going to revolve around her, and she was going to be the new figurehead of the series. And not only has she not been that in all these things, they've even now degraded her down to having the Marvels, where she's only part of a larger group. So it makes me happy.
And I've seen pictures already online of Ms. Marvel.
And they've done a good job with that costume.
Yeah, it looks like it's right out of the comics. A great design on that. They didn't try to go too far from it and that. So, but yeah, we got a listing of the new movies. So as we all know, we got Black Widow coming out. According to Wikipedia, they're throwing it in Phase 4. I think Black Widow is more of a is a epilogue to 3, setting up stuff from within that time to what 4 will be. And then of course we got Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings coming out this year, the Eternals, and then Spider-Man No Way Home. They moved Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness to next year. I believe it's gonna be in February. And then Thor: Love and Thunder will be after that, followed by, and I like to do this, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, because they've already said it's going to center around Wakanda. And I think with what we saw in the Falcon Winter Soldier, it's going to have, different characters from with Wakanda are going to be able to come out and handle this, since we no longer have Chadwick Boseman with us.
Right. And the thing is with that character, it's very easy to switch him out, because it was, the whole premise is set up in the original Black Panther. It was this flower that they ingest, or however it was, that gives them the power. Mm-hmm. So, and he inherited the power from his dad. So this power can be transferred. Yes. So it doesn't violate anything at all. And you can still honor the original legacy of Chadwick Boseman, but still have the Black Panther going on, even though it's not T'Challa. So I really like the way they're going. Curious who will the next Black Panther be. To me, it would be a good choice, actually. And I don't know the character's name, but he was kind of the rival to Black Panther in that other tribe where he fought him for leadership. That big guy. I think he would make a great one. But
yeah, he was definitely someone that I think could take up the mantle. I know there was speculation that it'd be the sister.
I think that's too, I don't know.
Kind of following line of succession style. And things like that, so.
I don't like it. They're already making her like the smartest person in the universe, and adding the power on top of it. It's just, I think it's too much for one character.
Yeah.
Because here's the problem. You can't, and this is always the problem with Superman. Mm-hmm. Anytime you make a character too powerful, as a viewer, you lose that sense of danger for that character. She can now outthink her way out of anything. Now she'll also be able to out-muscle out of anything. She can out-tech out of anything. It's like no matter what it is, she's going to be the best in the universe. And that just destroys that danger factor you have for the character.
Yep.
So I hope they don't.
I do too. I think, I think either, like I said, one of the other characters, or it may be something that they don't explore for a long time, just for the fact that they can deal with was it Dora Major, the women in that, mm-hmm. and then they have other groups within they can go in. So calling it Wakanda Forever, it can become more than just Black Panther. It's Wakanda, mm-hmm. and we have a lot of other characters besides just the Black Panther. So
yep, yeah. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yep, we also got, and those are going to be next year between Doctor Strange, Thor, Black Panther, and the Marvels are all 2022 right now. And then in 23, we get the Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania, and then Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Now, this is what's interesting. You brought up the point, I think, last week. Mm-hmm. You raised the question, was it all a red herring, the original announcements they made?
I believe it was. I think it needed to make announcements, and they kind of came up with stuff, and it's almost all changed.
Right. So originally we had this slate of like 13 movies. All of them were new. There was only like one or two that were old characters from the previous phases. Now you look at the list, it's all we got. Everybody is like coming back in some form or another, it looks like. So it just, we did get some of the new ones, but even the Marvel shows are centering around the classics. So I really think this goes back to also a combination of factors of, I think they were setting up a plan to move forward and leaving the old behind. Mm-hmm. But I think through Star Wars, they learned a valuable lesson in keep the fan base happy. And if it's working, don't break it. And then you factor in these actors had a year or two off because of COVID. I have a lot, I think a lot of times actors have this fatigue and they say they're done with roles, but when they step away for a while, it's like, maybe, that role wasn't that bad. I mean, it happens all the time where people say we're done forever, and then 10 years later they get invited back. It's like, I wasn't as big as an actor outside of this role as I thought.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like there was an original announcement. Some of the stuff, it was like we were supposed to be like and they announced a bunch of stuff, and they said it was going to be a mix, but it was like Thunderbolts was thrown in there and things like that. And it's like, okay, where's all this stuff coming from? Now we're seeing where things can come through, but they've not fully announced some of these real series. What we do know that's coming out though, TV series wise, we've already had WandaVision, we've already had Falcon, we got Loki, and they're starting to call this Loki season 1. So I have a feeling it is getting renewed, and that Loki is going to be a bridge series for the next couple of years.
Mm-hmm. It's a perfect series in that they can do whatever they want. They can change things to fit new scenarios because he's messing with the timeline,
right?
So
and it's going to be able to change some things, fix some things.
If they want to bring a character back, all they need to do is have Loki pop into a certain time frame, change the events, and poof, you got a character back. Yeah. That could be how we get Black Widow back if she comes back. You never know. And
that's possible because there's been talks of her coming back now. And I was surprised when they killed her off in the first place because I always liked Scarlett Johansson. I liked the character Black Widow, and I'd like to see more with that. Which I know we get a movie, which I'm real excited still to see the Black Widow movie.
And all you have to do is change the time to be somebody else ends up in the Mind Stone or Soul Stone. I mean,
yeah, they can
change the event so it's not her and someone else, and everything's fine.
Yep. So we also have coming out later this year on the TV side, we've got the What If is exciting. It's like the comic in that, but I'm looking forward to what they're doing with this Ms. Marvel, because that's what they're filming now. That's what we saw the set pick from, and it's supposed to basically this is going to set up what's going to become the Marvels movie. So I think this is where we see some different things happen within that to create that Marvels movie in that. So I'm excited about that too.
Now here's the actual Marvel website. Mm-hmm. They have a TV show section of their Marvel.com site. Yeah. And so this one I don't know. What's this? Marvel Studios Assembled.
I believe that isn't the Assembled on right now. That's like isn't that the behind the scenes?
Oh, is that what that one is? Oh, you're right. I think you're right.
Because they've got it up there for Falcon Winter Soldier. I watched that last week.
We got MODOK coming out.
Yeah.
Now that's on Hulu. So is that going to be a little more extreme?
It looks like an animated thing too. So,
but will this be more like Invincible though, where it's a little more graphic? Because I was hearing they were thinking about doing more adult-oriented content on Hulu.
Well, that premieres May 21st on Hulu. I'm pulling it up right now.
MODOK was always the weirdest comic character. It was just this giant head with little legs and feet on a chair floating around.
Yeah, this is something might be kind of interesting. It's an adult animated stop motion show.
Okay.
It's created by Patton Oswalt and Jordan Bloom. And
there's the look there.
Star Patton Oswalt in that. So let's see here. So Patton starts as MODOK, supervillain struggling to handle his company and family. And it lists a bunch of the actors. Also star is officially announced from on Hulu's in February of 2019.
So there he is there.
Yeah, 10 episodes starting on.
It is a completely different look and feel for anything Marvel at all. I mean, you got this stop motion, like you said. It looks like those old 60s.
Yeah.
Like, what is it called? The
Thunderbirds or Go.
Thunderbirds.
Yeah. Well, that's what it looks like, but it still looks like it's all computer animated. They just made it look like it was still a stop motion.
Right. They gave it the look.
Yeah.
And so we get the origin story of this character, which is such an absurd character in my mind. But I'm actually
initially way to introduce a character. I mean, it's a character that to bring into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, people might be like, okay, now you've gone too far. But to include like an animated show like this to create some storyline is a great way to go.
But if anyone can do it, it's Marvel for live action. I mean, like even like Thor's sister Hela.
Yep.
The comic book drawing of her, it's like there's no way to bring that into real life. It'd be ridiculous. And they did it, and they made it look awesome. Wanda, Scarlet Witch, her live action new costume is comic accurate. Looks awesome. Over and over again, they pull it off.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. I'm actually kind of interested in this MODOK. Wasn't he a big villain for Hulk?
I'm not positive. I remember him popping up in different things throughout the years of reading comics. I just don't remember exactly.
Oh, now this one's on. Okay, starting February 12th. So this one's on Disney Plus also. I haven't seen this one. Behind the Mask. It's the behind the scenes on what the inspiration was for these characters. That'd be interesting to watch.
Yeah. So MODOK made his first appearance in Tales of Suspense '93. And of course, created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
Here's the upcoming ones too. We'll look at this after.
Yeah, he was a recurring foe for Captain America.
Oh, Captain America. Okay.
Yeah, and then he part of the Avengers, Defenders, things like that would pop in there. Marvel 1985, Astonishing Tales, West Coast Avengers, which actually, that's kind of what some of the stuff they're creating with these different characters could be like the West Coast Avengers between Hawkeye, getting his own series and things like that. So,
and why are they called the Young Avengers or Teen Avengers?
Yep.
Like they're introducing a lot of characters who could tie into that. You got Hawkeye's daughter, who they seem to be developing in this upcoming series. In the last Captain America Winter Soldier, Falcon Winter Soldier, Isaiah Bradley's son or grandson. He's a character that develops powers down the road. So they're kind of sprinkling in these characters for the future there. But you can see here some of the ones Brett mentioned: Loki, What If. You got Miss Marvel. She's going to have her own series, which then will go into the Marvels movie. So that'll be their Secret Invasion. Moon Knight. I'm looking forward to Moon Knight.
Yep.
Same with She-Hulk. Armor Wars.
Yeah, we got the Armor Wars to be cool.
Ironheart.
That's going to come after Ironheart. So I think Ironheart's going to set up for the Armor Wars.
Yep. And Ironheart, for those who don't remember, that's the protege that Tony Stark brings on. I forget the character's name, but she's like a 15-year-old gifted student, like super intellectual student at MIT, if I remember right.
Yep.
And he brings her on because she ends up building her own Iron Man suit on her own. So Tony Stark is getting older and he's trying to think of his retirement plan. So he decides to take her on as a protege. I think this is hilarious. They're doing a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's a play on the Star Wars holiday special.
Well, when they announced it sounded like it. And it's going to come out at the end of the year. And I think it's it's kind of like, okay, here's what's happening in between the end game and then this next Guardians of the Galaxy, kind of getting things a little more on track for them. But I think it's all going to be done a lot of tongue in cheek and stuff like that. It's going to be a lot of comedy involved. And of course, the I Am Groot animated series.
Yep.
Which is like the easiest written show in the world.
Yeah.
There's one line of dialogue.
Exactly.
So
you don't have to do much, but a lot is on the plate here.
Well, I mean, we saw basically what we've seen at the end of WandaVision. I think what we've seen at the end of Falcon Winter Soldier is heading towards the Secret Invasion. I think the Secret Invasion is a pinnacle point for a lot of these series that are coming out.
Yeah.
So
here's that What If. So I forgot that What If is going to be animated.
Yeah.
So this is a little peek at this. This was one of my favorite comic series back in the day because it gives you those what if questions. What if Spider-Man was bad, or what if Bruce Banner was bitten by the radioactive spider instead of Peter Parker? What if Uncle Ben didn't die? Like all those scenarios. It's always fun seeing those different things. But
yeah, I enjoyed them a lot.
Really good.
It's one of those things that when definitely collecting comics, even in my 20s, I still wanted to read it. And if I wasn't buying them, I usually had a friend that had them every month, so I'd get to read them. And so it was just a lot of fun. But it's like that there. I mean, that's not Captain America. But
I believe that's Peggy Carter. I
Yeah.
think this one is what if Peggy Carter became Captain
Yeah,
America.
so a wholly different version of that. So I mean, it's gonna be a cool concept looking at some of these stories and new ones they do based on that. I always found it fun. It was always just different. Like what if the Fantastic Four didn't get their powers and someone
Right.
else got them and and things like that. And it's been the what if stuff's been done throughout comics in different ways. Star Wars even did it. They did a whole series of comics. They based them on each of the original trilogy, and the first couple were good. I didn't care for the Return of the Jedi one because it was by the time they get to the point where it's changing things, it was halfway through the series. But the initial New Hope, where it was Leia, had gone to the dark side and things like that, was actually a really cool story. The way they told it in that. So, but yeah, the different variations of what could happen, and it's always just like one little thing changes, and how did the ripple effect affect everything? So,
Well, and the fascination there is just with our own lives. You look back on your own life, how many things are just like random chance things that if you go back to, like, you're on a whole trajectory that if you didn't do this event, none of these events would have happened. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And then it makes you wonder, well, then if these didn't happen, then what would I be today? And it's always fun. Like, I always enjoy those movies like that one door, Sliding Doors with Gwyneth Paltrow. I was fascinated by the way they did that movie, because you're seeing the two timelines of her life, what things are happening almost by fate, where no matter what changes, it stays the same, and what things are changed. And
the simultaneous when they showed that the way it goes, and how her look changed in different ways, but still ran into certain things and certain people, and yeah, it's an interesting take on when they do that storyline is what would be different, what could be changed, and it kind of also goes with talk about this, like no matter what you do, some things are always going to stay the exact same.
Right. So good stuff. Yeah, a lot of great stuff coming out for Marvel. Let's see if there's anything like this on the Star Wars site, showcasing all the stuff coming out. Let's see. Oh, we got the Bad Batch, of course. Let's see. Haven't really heard much, though. Like, once again, I think Disney has been in a state of flux where we were hearing all about these trilogies and movies coming out. We had the Rian Johnson trilogy coming. We had the D&D version of the Game of Thrones guys. They were getting their own trilogies, and all of that went silent. And while as far as I know, they haven't officially canceled any of those, they definitely aren't promoting them.
And I have a feeling that they were announcing that stuff prior to and around the time that Rise of Skywalker came out. And I think they were expecting that Rise of Skywalker, while it was enjoyable, it still couldn't fix a lot of the problems from The Last Jedi in terms of the fan base.
Yeah.
Mandalorian has done that. And so it's kind of forced to change how they go about doing different things, where they're going and stuff. And while I still, every other month I see pop up like Rian Johnson's trilogy is still on, it's like nobody's in production. The only thing in production right now for Star Wars is the TV series. And, I think they're trying to distance themselves as much as possible and go into a different realm with this. So.
Well, and my understanding is you kind of have two factions within Lucasfilm right now. You got those who are the old school, who believe in, who are kind of headed up by Filoni and Favreau, who believe in what George Lucas envisioned and built. And then you have the Kathleen Kennedy side with Rian Johnson and that wing, who's all about this new vision of what Star Wars is. And the High Republic is the product of that division, from what I can tell, whereas the Mandalorian came from the Filoni and Favreau division. And we are clearly seeing who's winning. They can say High Republic as much as they want. I see nobody talking about it.
No, there's zero talk about it. They very rarely even promote it anymore.
Resistance was another part of that, which flopped.
The problem is they're trying to get, there's always been political aspects and things like that. They're trying to get too much away from the heart of Star Wars storytelling, where Mandalorian went back to that. I mean, it's always been a serialized type story. It's almost a kid's show in more ways than others. And it's designed, to have heroes and villains and not to blur the lines and get rid of. You've always had a little bit of, from like Obi-Wan, from your own perspective type stuff, but everything I read about the High Republic, and then what they tried to do with Resistance, things like that, they were always trying to wipe out. And even with the Last Jedi, they're trying to wipe out everything we know about Star Wars, and that's the worst way to go.
Right. But yeah, movie wise, it's been pretty silent on the Star Wars front for movies, so it'll be interesting to see where this goes. Like you said, Rise of Skywalker, I think, was their attempt to fix it, make both sides of the Star Wars fan base happy. That was divided by Last Jedi. But I think Mandalorian was the icing on the cake to say, no, this is what Star Wars fans want. This is it here, Mandalorian.
Well, and that's why I keep thinking that what reason we haven't seen a whole lot is that they have been reevaluating, have to go back and create a new plan, and they're just not there yet. So they know they've got the Andor series coming out, and again, we have a series that I'm excited to watch. It'll be fun, but it doesn't have a deeper future because we already know where the character ends.
Right.
We've in Rogue One.
Yep. Yeah, so we'll see where things end up here. I think the ultimate key right now is I think everything's on hold until the leadership is officially transferred over. Yeah, I think Disney is waiting for Kathleen Kennedy because she's officially stepping down, right? What it was announced, it's official, right? Or was that rumor?
They were. I was a lot of talks about that speculation, but and like I said, I think between the Book of Boba, Mandalorian, the Ahsoka show. Ahsoka Tano movie, TV series, and then of course we've got the original trilogy stuff, which is tied around the Obi-Wan and whatever Cassian's Andor's. The going forward really centered around the Mandalorian stuff with the Mandalorian, Boba Fett, and then Ahsoka, and with her going after Thrawn. I think that's where we're gonna see the divergence away from the post original trilogy stuff.
Yeah. So here Disney's trying to shoot down those rumors. This was from March, saying that she's not leaving, but I don't know. I don't see her staying. Nobody likes her. No one does. Well, the only people are like her are the same people who sit there and praise our governor every time she's on. Oh, thank you. Nobody likes this woman. When she came on, everyone loved her. Star Wars fans were so hopeful because she was from the beginning. Yeah. So it's like, oh yes, we were so thrilled, and we thought the future was bright with her. But from day one, she decided to turn this into about her. She made this about gender politics, and everything was about her universe and female power, and just discrediting their male fan base, which is sad. Because I was so excited when she was coming on board, but she just totally ripped up Lucas's vision and made it her own. And Disney was more than happy to do that. But she was the one that talked them into, we got to forget the old fan base and go after the new fan base. Mm-hmm. And they're seeing it big time with their Star Wars land. It's nowhere near as successful as it was supposed to be, which is why my understanding is they're going to be revamping a lot of it to fit the Mandalorian now. Well, instead of the prequels.
The big change is actually coming next year. They're opening up the Star Wars Hotel. I don't know if you saw the video, and what we saw in the video was a Jedi turning around. This was promoting the hotel. That wasn't a special effect lightsaber. They've actually designed up to where you can buy a lightsaber, and the blade's going to come out and retract. Mm-hmm. And it's designed to have that look so you can walk around with your own lightsaber, and then it still actually come out. So, but it's going to be, my understanding from reading the articles, it's going to be initially launched with the hotel, because the hotel itself is going to be an immersive experience where you're pretty much going to be there for a couple of days, and they're not going to allow people to stay there, for like a week at a time. It's like a 2-3 day thing, I think, because there's stuff you do there, and it's almost like staying at your own theme park off world. Because the minute you go in there, it's like you take a shuttle to another world, and that's where you stay and do everything. So it's going to be, in a way, almost its own park, even though they're not calling it a park. So, but it's going to be tied into the Galaxy's Edge and things like that. So, it sounds cool and interesting, and it's designed to be more immersive in a way. I think that Universal's Harry Potter makes you feel more immersive on that too. So
yeah, here it is. So this just came out yesterday, this article. Opening delayed no sign of annual passes returning yet.
Yeah, we're once until they can go to where they're at 100% capacity, no masks, no social distancing. They're not going to start selling any new annual passes for Disney World. And then California's Disneyland, they canceled all passes, and the park is only open to California residents right now. So it's a very limited, and we're probably a good year away from launching passes again.
According to this, it sounds like originally the hotel was supposed to open this year, but now it's going to be 2022.
Right.
For the hotel.
Well, that's because I had a several month delay when they had to shut everything down for COVID.
Right.
So that just put that delay on. So.
Yeah. So let's see. Here's the, what was that? Oh, here we go. It's just ads for it. Where's the article that I want? Oh, well. Anyways.
So, hey, it's already 11 o'clock, so we've had a great time talking with everybody.
Let's pop up our Kickstarter one last time real quick, see if we had any movement here. Let's see. Share screen. So we're $5 short. Let me refresh. There it is.
There it is. Yes. Yeah. As we were watching, it jumps up.
As we were watching. You guys rock. So we're at 4,027. So we're now just $473 away from everyone of $40 or more getting another free comic added to their rewards. There'll be a limited edition. I'll show you what it is, because we can do this. We can definitely cross that finish line. It's right here.
And whoever just pledged, they pledged probably around it's $32 total there went up, or 32. If they increase their pledge a little bit more to make sure they're over $40, they're going to get that cover there. So it's for them to think about if they're still watching us here.
But we can still cross over the $4,500 mark easily in these last. Where are we at here?
We should be about 9 hours.
There it is. 8 hours to go. So it's 8 hours and 58 minutes from now.
Yep.
So, all right, guys, we appreciate you. You are all awesome. We'll be back on here tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time with Kevin joining us and beverages and our final 60 minutes of the Kickstarter campaign at that time.
All right. Hey, we'll see you guys tonight and join us next week for Odd Musings at 10 a.m. as always. Bye, guys.
Bye.